multiple channels, and they serve stuff like responsive websites and all sorts of mobile, tablet, and smartphone applications. So after basically she completed her master's thesis in graphics design, she joined the team of Ecomera, where she's working on various projects and big international retailers, and brands like Victoria's Secret, House of Fraser, Clarins, Speedo, and many others. So more to tell us about the impact of UX on retail, here is Simona Georgieva from Ecomera.
Thank you. Do you hear me well? Okay, good. So, as Stefan said, my name is Simona. I'm from Ecomera, and today I'll be talking about how some of the biggest retailers can improve the user experience of online shoppers. And I'm going to show you a lot of examples from our customers' websites. Before we start, I would like to think about why it's necessary to improve and always seek for improvement for the user experience. Basically, it's something like the ketchup thing. Some users don't realize that their user experience could be better until they actually get it. So, in order to start with our presentation, I would like you to meet Willy. Willy is an owner of e-commerce store, and he would like to grow his online store from 1 million to 2 million revenue. Today we are going to help him in this mission. So Willy is starting his journey, and the first thing he asked me when he saw this curved road that he needs to pass was, well, isn't there a short way, something like a shortcut from the start till the end? Do I really need to pass through all these steps? Well, really, unfortunately, there isn't a short way. There isn't a short way to deliver great user experience. And even what we have today is, let's say, a simplified one. So, Willy's on his way now, and the first step is how to navigate the visitors in the right direction. In this talk, we are going to see some examples of how retailers could improve their search. We are going to show some tips for the header design. We are going to talk about infinite scrolling and back-to-top button functionalities. Also, I'm going to let you know why it is a good suggestion to simplify the footer, and also some bullet points on site accessibility. Search. The site search is actually the tool that most of the site visitors use. And that's why it is very important for retailers to make sure that their site search works well. And by working well, I mean that it gives exactly the results which the user is searching for. Because recently I was looking for a green dress because I had some green shoes which I would like to combine with a beautiful dress. And in a very big retailer's website, when I searched for green dress, I got a result for scarf, which wasn't green at all, but it had some green frogs on it. Was that search relevant? I had a bad user experience. So here's an example from Biling's website where we decided to improve the search and add search suggestions. Something else that we also did in order to improve the search was to add images as well. By doing so, the user is immediately able to decide exactly which of the search suggestions is the best for him. The next step, as we already talked, is header design. The header is basically the place where retailers put all the important navigation links, like for example the site search as well as the main navigations, like if you're a clothing retailer, something men clothes, women clothes, etc. A good suggestion is to, instead of only include the main categories, to put some additional ones. Like for example, this could be new in, or sale, or let's say gifts, whatever is relevant to your brand. This is important because users sometimes are not exactly sure for what they are looking. So if they would like to buy a gift, they are not sure if this gift is going to be a scarf or a belt or something else. And when they see a section gifts, they say, oh, this is what I need. So here we see an example from the George website. George is actually a division of Walmart in the UK. So what we also did is to make the header sticky. By doing so, once the user scrolls down the page, the header stays on its place and the user is always able to quickly reach the main navigations, the site search, and whatever else the retailer has placed in the header. Infinite scrolling, it is currently highly trending interaction behavior which retailers use for product listing pages. The idea here is that it offers an efficient way to browse through long list with products without the user having to wait for the page to pre-load or without having to click on additional buttons for each next page. So here we see an example from the Berghaus website. Once the user clicks, for this not so smooth animation, please blame PowerPoint. Once the user scrolls down the page, more products are automatically loaded. So he doesn't have to wait and he doesn't have to click on a button for each next page. When using the infinity scrolling option, it is also a good suggestion to place back to top button. This is basically a very simple button, but it delivers a great user experience. Here is an example from Jaeger's website. Especially if the website doesn't have a sticky header and you use infinite scrolling, it's a great suggestion to add this button. Here is the button. It's a very simplified one. You don't really need to place something like back to top because it's very intuitive. When you see an arrow pointing to the top and when you click on it, it actually brings you to the top. There you can quickly reach the categories, the search, and whatever else you would like to use in the header. Site accessibility. Unfortunately, many of the online retailers don't realize that there are disabled people online as well. And what about their user experience? There are a lot of things to consider, and when we worked on the London 2012 Olympic Games project, we were doing their official online store. Because it was not only for the Olympic Games, but also for the Paralympic Games, it was essentially important to deliver fully accessible website. And we realized how hard it could be for a retailer to do so. So, I'm going to share with you some of the tips that a retailer could do in order to at least improve it a little bit, but there are a lot more. So, cover management. Why is this important? Because there are a lot of people with any kind of color blindness. This means that if you place, for example, brown, not all people will see it as brown. And if you place brown and green next to each other, some people won't make a difference of these colors. So, basically, a retailer should make sure that his colors are chosen by a way in which they work for all people. Another suggestion is to insert alt text for images. This is helping disabled people who can see and use screen readers to understand what is on the picture. Because if you place a picture with, let's say, green tree and a horse on it, blind people are not able to see it, so they don't know what is on that picture. But if you insert alt text and describe it, their screen reader is going to help them understand. Next suggestion is to provide an option to control text size. I think this one is the most popular for our country because a lot of the websites like news ones, etc. are using it. So this one here is just a small snapshot from the 2012 header, and you can see how we have provided this option to change the text size, as well as this one, which is controlling the site contrast. Footer design. The content in the footer is basically the less important one. This is the content which retailers are fine with placing at the bottom of the page. So, if it is so, why taking a lot of screen space in order to place some less important links or other stuff? A good suggestion here would be, like for example on this previous website, when you scroll down, the footer is actually this one. And what they have done is to set two states of the footer. Closed one, which is the default one, and expanded, which opens when the users click on this small button. So once clicked, it expands. And all the not so important links are still available, but at the same time, they don't take a lot of the screen. Willie just made the hardest step of his trip, the first one. He's now more than excited to understand how to present the products in the best possible way. Here we are going to have a look at how to present product images, product video, product descriptions, size guide, and I'm also going to show you a very interesting example for virtual fitting room. And we are also going to have a look at some statistics for ratings and reviews. Product images. Product images are really important these days. And to make you believe me, I will share with you an example, a case study from one of our customers, Team Win. So, Team Win, or shortly TML, because I'm sure that you haven't heard of them, they're not very popular in Bulgaria, but actually they're a very famous brand in the UK because they have more than 100 years history, they have more than 100 stores only in the UK, and they're also opening new stores all over the world. So, their online site went live in 2005, which is 10 years behind, and it was growing year on year with 60%. So they're developing, and what was the challenge? We noted some weak performance of the men's suits product pages. By the way, they are selling suits, shirts, let's say business apparel. When we noted this, we did usability review, which identified that the imagery and the merchandising on these pages were unappealing and unclear. This, of course, led to redesign in order to improve the user experience on these pages. Some of the new features were improved images, which are now bigger and with better quality, we will see in a minute, full height suit images, and full page zoom on product images. And my favorite before and after part, here's how the suits listing page looked pre-order redesign. And here's how it looks after the redesign. You can see that they have enlarged the product images more than twice and also placed real models in order for users to be easier to understand how this suit is going to fit on a real person, not on a hanger. For the product details page for suits, this is how it was before the redesign, and this is how it is after the redesign. Here you can see that apart from enlarging the image, they also organized pretty much the same information from here. It's absolutely the same here, but it's much better visually organized. And with the full page screen zoom, you actually can't miss a detail. when you're choosing your new suit, you're able to see every small detail of it. And now you may think, this is some boring redesign, they did some bigger images. But can you actually guess how this redesign improved their revenue? Because, of course, all online sellers are interested in bigger revenue. That's the whole point of doing e-commerce store. So can you guess, let's say, how many percent was the increase of the revenue? 40? 100? A good one? Okay, let's see. So the results were, TML increased their revenue in the suits product category by 75%. You were close, but that's a lot. This is what an image could make as a difference. 75% in the revenue. And here we are talking about big numbers in revenue. So next we are going to talk about product videos. This is additional way to deliver better user experience and to present your products. For example, quarries are using product videos, which are placed on the product details page. Here are the images, and the video is right next to them. And in the video, they describe how their product is so special, why you should try it on your skin. Is it going to work for example, for your age or for your skin type? This is giving very essential information to the users. Product descriptions. Product descriptions sometimes are not that much important for the user. For example, if you're going to buy a $5 product, you're not very keen on reading some long descriptions about it. It's $5, so you just want to buy it. But there's another case, like for example with Tempur. Do you know Tempur? Okay, Tempur are selling high quality mattresses. So their mattresses cost about, let's say, 2,000 pounds. And if I'm going to spend 2,000 pounds on a mattress, well, I better know all about it. So you can see that this page, as well as this one, and this one, and this one, are actually information for one single product. And this is, let's say, half of the information available on their website for exactly this product. But their customers are interested in knowing a lot of details for their product because you don't buy a mattress every day. So it actually depends on the brand and it depends on the customer as well. And sometimes for the same product, one customer would like to know more and another customer would like to know less. In this case, of course, it's always better to provide more than less. Size guide and virtual fitting room. Most retailers who are selling clothes online do have some kind of size guide. In most cases, this is just a table with a lot of numbers in it. And if you're selling clothes like t-shirts, that's fine, because t-shirts have sizing like S, M, L, XL. It's pretty simple. You can't go wrong with that. But for example, if you're like TML and you're selling shirts, business apparel, well, that's a little bit more complicated because on a shirt you have much more measurements to take. You have waist, chest, you have arm length, etc. And it turns out that a lot of the customers are they find it hard to decide which exactly is their size. So what TML did is to implement a virtual fitting room, a room where the user can virtually enter and see exactly how the shirt will fit on his body. So there he can adjust if he would like to have it more slim fit or to have some free space around his belly. So here from the product detail page, there is a button Try It On. Shall we try it? Okay. So the users, once click, they have to enter some basic information like height, weight, age, and neck. So once done, they see a virtual model of their body, which they can adjust by sliding these circles. Let's say we have a bigger belly. And then once happy with the virtual model, the user is entering the virtual fitting room. So here we can see a model which has exactly this kind of body shape, trying this shirt. We can see that he's also able to try some different sizes. Here the recommended size is 16. But let's say the user decides to put his exact measurements. So he's bring to this page where he can select exact measurement for each of the body shape, body measurement. This guy here is helping by showing exactly how to do it, because here you can see that taking an arm measurement is more complicated than you might think. And what they also did is to provide a measuring tape ready for print. You just print it, and it's very, very easy to cut and fold in order to measure your body at the office, let's say. Once happy, you just saw how our user lost some weight, and now the suggested size is a little bit smaller. If the user is happy with how this shirt fits on him, he just leaves the virtual fitting room and is back on the product details page, where here at all the size measurements are already selected for him. The ones that he chosen are placed here. So for example, if he would like to buy this shirt, he just taps on Add to Bag and done. This functionality improved not only the revenue, which we are going to see now how many percents again, but it also had an effect of decreasing the number of returns that TML received because of wrong sizing. So, from the month after this functionality was implemented, TML increased their online revenue by 35%. This is just because of helping users to be able to better measure their sales, to be able to better understand which is their exact size. Ratings and reviews. Well, this is getting much more popular among online shoppers, and however, retailers, or at least some of them, are still afraid to place some reviews on their website because they think that, let's say, a negative review may eventually cause some missed sales. In order to show if that's true, we had a look at some statistics. It turns out that 75% of reviews which are posted online are actually positive. 70% of people always read the reviews before they purchase the product. And 63% of people are more likely to purchase a product if it has ratings and reviews. I guess that this proves that putting rating and reviews is a good suggestion for online retailers. Here's Willie. He's now on his way to understand how to make customers want more. Once a customer is on your website and about to make a purchase, why not try to sell him some more? Retailers could do so by offering connected promotions, by using recommended matching products, and by the wishlist functionality. Offering connected promotions is basically something like, you're about to spend $75 on our website, and if you spend $25 more, we will give you something free. And guess what? It actually works. Recommend matching products. Recommendations are actually very, let's say, A lot of retailers use recommendations, but it's different. For example, if I'm looking for shoes, and under the shoes picture, I see some different pair of shoes pictures, which the user recommends for me. But isn't it better to recommend a product which is not like the one I am currently reviewing, but another one which is matching my product, and I eventually decide to buy it both? So here's an example from the Jimmy Choo website, one of my favorite. They have a lovely pink shoes, and you can see how right under the product image on the product details page, they are offering a recommendation, but they say that these shoes perfectly matches with exactly this bag. Well, if I'm going to buy the shoes, I would need a bag, so I will take this one because it perfectly matches my shoes. It's the same color and it's the same material, and they can't go without it. So I go to my boyfriend and I said, I needed shoes, but I also need a bag, so please. Wish list. Wish list is something that most of the retailers provide as an option, but let's see what's the benefit from this. For example, George, which we already said that are part from Walmart, implemented the wish list functionality, and here you can see some saved items. 100,000 users have used this in the first month it was implemented. And the number was even continuing to grow, reaching the spectacular 400,000 users per month. And what they also did is to place these wishlist items just right under the back page, where user is able with one click to just move the wishlist item from the wishlist to the back. And this is what actually most of the users did. Most of the half of the users just moved their favorite items from the wishlist to the back, and they bought them. Here's Willie. He's almost on the half of his way and is going to understand something very important: reducing basket abandonment. This is, let's say, something that all retailers are afraid of. Having a customer landed on your website, placed something in the bag, proceeded to check out, and for some reason not completed the order. This is a lost sale. So what retailers could do in order to prepare for this and try to avoid it is show full price as early as possible in the checkout process, make the checkout process short and simple, reconnect with users who haven't completed their checkout process, send back in-stock notifications, and make sure all users are focused only on the checkout process. Let's see. Show full price as early as possible in the checkout process. Why is this important? Because let's say if I'm going to buy a $10 product, I'm fine with the price, I've placed it in my basket, and I have proceeded to check out. There are some fields, and I just realized that I have to spend another $5 to receive it, because that's the cost of the delivery. Well, that's not fine anymore, because I know that other retailers are providing free shipping. So I'm not happy with it. This is a bad user experience because I have already spent some time choosing this product, placing it in my basket, going to checkout, filling some fields, and after that I realized that that's not working for me. So what retailers should do is provide as early as possible in the checkout process the full cost of the order, including delivery, including any other additional expenses. Keep the checkout short and simple. In order to understand why this is so important, I'm going to take you to a very interesting case study from our customer, the official Olympic London 2012 Games. So what was the challenge? Shortly after we released the mobile website, we were looking at some analytic data. And what we saw there is that 91% of all orders placed during that day were coming from the desktop site, which means that just 9% of all orders were placed via mobile website. So why is this surprising? We expected that much more people are going to use the mobiles for placing orders. And at the same time, in 2012, some of our other customers were experiencing something like between 30 and 40% of the overall online orders coming from mobile devices. So this is strange. In order to understand what is causing users not placing orders from the mobile but preferring the desktop, we had a look at some more detailed data. We saw that for the same day and also the following, because it's not a good suggestion to use one day results, it may be some not relevant data, because for the next day it could be some different one. So what we understood for 2 days was that the drop rate on the desktop site was 8%. This means that 8% of people who have placed something in their bag, proceeded to checkout, haven't completed the process. And that's fine, because in general this is absolutely normal percentage for online shoppers to exit their checkout. But when we look at the same data for mobile, we realize that the drop rate there is 41%. So a little bit less than half of the people quit their checkout process on mobile. Do you have any idea of what could be causing this? Because you're not just landed on the page and not buying, that's another thing, that's conversion rate. Conversion rate is percentage of people who have visited your website and completed an order. This is drop rate. People here have placed something in the bag, proceeded to check out, and then they decided not to buy. In order to understand exactly what is causing this, the best thing to do is try to act like a customer and try to purchase something from the mobile site. So here we go. Let's say that I would like to buy a present for my boyfriend, who is a huge fan of the UK football team. So I want to buy a t-shirt for him. And once on the home page, I see the main categories and I go to quoting. Then I see some subcategories and I choose men. After that, there is another subcategory listing and I go to t-shirts because I would like to buy a t-shirt. Here is the product listing page where I immediately see the t-shirt which I would like to buy, this one. So going on its product details page, I slide down. Let's say that the selected color and the selected size are exactly that work for my boyfriend. So I'm now able and ready to add the t-shirt to my basket. Once added, I'm automatically sent to the basket page where I review the order subtotal, the cost of the delivery, the VAT, and that's fine. I still want to buy this t-shirt, so I can go to checkout. So far, my user experience was pretty good. I was able to quickly find the product which I was looking for, to place it in my bag, and to proceed to checkout. Let's see what happens there. I see that there are 3 steps which I need to complete in order to place the order. So here I have delivery, billing, and confirm. Starting with the delivery step. I need to fill some fields. So I'm starting. First name, Simona. Surname, Georgieva. Country, Bulgaria. Postcode, 1404. Sliding down. Address, 49B Bulgaria Boulevard. Address 2. Okay, let's say it's third floor, Icumera. District. Why do they need district? I'm even not sure what's the district there. But let's say it's Motoprism. City, well, Sofia. Oh, there's another one. Okay, Sofia. Contact number. That's my contact number. Sliding down. Oh, okay. Here I have to choose from some delivery options, and let's say I'm fine with the standard one. I review once again the order subtotal and the total, and I would like to proceed to billing. Finally. Going on the billing page, what I see now? Exactly the same fields. Once again, I need to enter exactly the same information. Look at this. And in addition, I need to eventually fill in some credit card details. Let's see again. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to fill that many fields, especially from my mobile phone. I hate typing that much, and my battery would die, and I will eventually go to desktop and purchase from there. Or maybe I can just buy him something else, because it will be easier for me. I'm already bored with this. I don't want to do it anymore. And this is exactly where I leave the process, I don't complete the order, and they have just lost me as a client. So, what was the solution? We immediately decreased the number of form fields with 40%, and also made all repeatable fields from the delivery step pre-filled for the next one. Of course, allowing the user is, if for any reason the two addresses don't match, to be able to edit the second one. This immediately brings our drop rate back to normal. But what we wanted to do is to improve the user experience even further. So we did implemented Address Doctor. Has anyone heard what is Address Doctor? I know for you. Okay, Address Doctor is a functionality which allows the user to much quickly and easier complete the addresses form. So how it is working? The user enters just a postcode and the city. And Address Doctor is suggesting all the information like street name, street number, etc. Well, this is something that is not going to work for Bulgaria unfortunately, because our postcodes are not address-specific ones. Our postcodes are relevant for a bigger area. But for many other countries, like for example in London and in the UK, postcodes are address-specific. So once the user types the postcode, it brings some information for exactly which street is, exactly which number. So by doing so, the user spends much less time to fill in just two simple fields. Click on a button, and Address Doctor suggests an address which fills all other needed information automatically. This is really a great user experience. This is something which is going to help our customers complete much faster the checkout process and be happy from it. The results. Drop rate on mobile checkout pages were decreased to under 7%, which is even better than the desktop side. And the conversion rate was increased back to its normal values. I mentioned that the conversion rate is the percentage of people who have visited the site and completed the order. So, next step is reconnect with users who haven't completed their checkout. This is another interesting solution, and here we are going to see an example from House of Fraser. House of Fraser is another huge retailer. If you haven't heard them, I'm sure that if I just told you that they do more than 80,000 orders just for one day through their online web store, that's a lot. So what they do is, if they see that I have placed something in my bag, but for some reason I haven't completed the order, shortly after that they send me an email and say, here is what you have placed in your bag, and we still have it, so they still keep this information. And if I would like to buy it, I can just quickly do this with one click directly from my email. Here, proceed to checkout. If I have placed some more items here, they will list all these, and I can quickly proceed with the order directly from my email. Something else is to send back in stock notifications. This is when it is actually normal for products to be out of stock. And if the retailer is planning to have these products back in stock, well, it is a good suggestion to send back in stock notifications. By doing so, the retailer could eventually not miss these sales. So here's an example from Biling. This is an email which I received because these shoes were back in stock, and this is my size here. What I did is to go to the product page, see that these shoes are out of stock, and there was a button saying, would you like to be notified when they're back in stock? I tapped on this, filled my email, and done. Once back in stock, I receive immediately a notification. And if I still want these shoes, I can quickly proceed with this button directly from my email and place an order for them. Make sure users are focused on checkout. Well, once the user has begun the checkout process, what retailers should definitely not do is try to distract him. And there are some suggestions how to do so. We are going to see an example from the Victoria's Secret page website where, for example, on the left side you see the home page, and the header is this one. On the checkout page, the header is this one. What they do is to simplify the header, to remove all the links, all the navigation stuff, which is eventually going to distract the user. He can go to checkout but then decide to search for something else and easily be distracted. When he doesn't have these options, he is focused on the checkout process. The same is with the footer. On the home page, the footer is this one, a big one I would say. And on the checkout page, it's just one line with all rights reserved message. And also on the checkout page itself, here we have only the information and the fields that are relevant to the checkout process. There are no recommendations, no advertisements, nothing. Just the checkout item, so the user could be really focused in what he is doing and won't be distracted during the checkout process so that he is going to complete the order. Biling is now going to understand how to save some customers' time and why this is important. People these days are very busy, they are always in a hurry for something, so by saving their time, you're delivering a great user experience. Let's see how this could be done. Retailers could provide quick view on product listing pages, they could allow social media login, they could allow guest checkout, and also reduced forms on checkout, which we already talked about, but I just want to stress it here and put it again. We won't go into any details anymore. So provide quick view on product listing pages. It is a good practice because, for example, on the Berghaus website, this is a product listing page, and if I hover on this product, I see some quick view button, which if I tap on this, I'm seeing a pop-up where I have all the information which is otherwise available on the product details page. What the difference here is that I don't have to wait for pre-loading pages. I have all the information here, and if you would like to buy this product, I can add it to my basket directly from here. But if I don't want to buy it, I just can click on the close button and I'll be back from where I started. So I'm not losing any time to go back, to wait for pages to pre-load, and let's say to, for some reason, lose where I was. Allow login via social media accounts is quite popular these days, and it is again something that can help customers save time because they don't have to fill in another fields, they don't have to create more accounts, because apart from hating filling new fields, users also don't enjoy creating new accounts for every page they land on. So for example, from the Quarry's website, they have an option which is saying sign in with just one click, and the user is able to sign in with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Google Post account. Allow guest checkout. This is a huge improvement in the user experience because some users, as we already mentioned, don't really like to create new accounts all over again, and if they don't plan to return to this retailer, it's a very good suggestion to leave them checkout as guests. Example from the Bellstaff website. Here the user is asked to fill his email and is asked if he already has an account, or if not, if he would like to continue checkout as a guest. So let's say our user decides to continue as guest. He completed the order, and at that point where the order is already placed, Bellstaff asks if the user would like to create an account but using the information he already gave, not any more additional fields. And most of the users accept, and at the end they end up creating an account which the retailer wanted, but in a very different way. The user hasn't felt pushed to create an account. Willy is now going to understand how retailers could deliver some better user experience by offering flexible payment delivery and returns options. Here are some of the options we have implemented for our customers. Pay up to 14 days later, allow mobile payments, deliver to multiple locations, click and collect, return online purchased items in a store. Let's see. Pay up to 14 days later. This may not sound very relevant for you, but there are many different cultures all over the world, and for example in Asia, people are very much used to place an order for something and pay 14 days later. They won't receive the order until they pay it, but it is reserved for them. And this is something that they are very much used to. Like we saw an example how they are used to show good things with red color, which is absolutely not relevant for our culture. But it is important for big international retailers to know the local culture and to somehow try to deliver services which are meeting these needs. So an example from the Quarry's website, here we have a notification that there is a pending order which is waiting for us to complete. Allow mobile payments. This is something very typical again for Asia, but not only. So we are seeing an example from the Speedo website, where on their product details page they have placed a QR code, and on over this it is enlarged, so the user is able to scan it with his smartphone. It is working by application which is already installed on the mobile phone, and this application is associated with a credit card, so the actual payment is made from the credit card. But this is something that is again saving the customer's time, because he doesn't have to complete all the credit card details and other details which he already has on his mobile application. Deliver to multiple locations. Sometimes customers customers have some specific needs, if the retailer is able to identify these needs and to offer a solution for them, this is what may bring very good user experience. Let's see an example from Godiva. Godiva realized they're actually selling chocolates, but very beautiful one, very delicious. They realized that most of their customers are buying these for gifts. So, for example, if we say that I would like to order 10 boxes of chocolates for Christmas gifts for my friends, if I have regular delivery options, I would need to complete 10 different orders because each box will have to go on a different address. But all the other information, like for example my credit card details, my billing details, are going to be the same. So what we did for Godiva was to implement a solution which is allowing the user to deliver his items to as many addresses as he would like to. So, for example, if we would like, we can deliver our 10 boxes to 10 different addresses, or we can combine 2 boxes and deliver to one address, 3 boxes to another, etc. But we are doing this with just one order, and it is saving a lot of time. Click and collect. Basically, this is a functionality which allows the user to place and pay for the order online, and then go to an offline store where he collects it by himself. It may sound, again, not that much relevant for Bulgaria, but for UK, for example, for Asda is another division of Walmart in UK, and it's very popular there. It turns out that more than 65% of all orders placed in the Asda website are with the click and collect delivery option. So it seems like 65% of people are very happy with this option and they prefer it. Another option is to return online purchased items in a store. It's very simple. You order something online, receive it, but you're not happy with it. So you have the option to go to a store and either replace the item with something else or just return it and get a refund. We're now going to understand how to engage customers. I'm not going to talk about how important it is to engage customers and make them come back to your website over and over again, but just have a look at how this could be done. This could be done by loyalty programs, by newsletter, offering extras relevant to the brand, interactive games and puzzles, and personalization. Loyalty programs. There are a lot of loyalty programs out there, and the retailer just needs to choose one which is the most relevant for his brand, but not forget to choose a program which is relevant to his clients. Here we can see an example of Thierry Mugler. We have published this video. I am showing just part of it. It is in French because it's on their French website, but what they are doing is to show the customer, to encourage them to collect more bonus points, because by doing so, all these beautiful and interesting products could be won. So they're engaging the customer to collect more points in order to receive a award. Newsletter. Newsletter is a great way for retailers to keep in touch with customers. However, there is a belief that most of the customers don't read the retailer's emails. Is that true? Well, we did a search and we wanted to understand, do customers read emails from retailers? And here are the results. With the orange color are male users and the green one are female, you can see how usually and always, actually let's say between 65 and 70% of all people are reading these emails. What was more interesting from our study was that actually we signed up for 60 different newsletters for 60 different retailers, and 33% of them didn't send us anything, never. So why asking your customers to sign in for a newsletter if you're not going to send it? Offering extra revenue to the brand. Here's an example from Quarry's site again. They offer this extra, which is actually allowing their users to purchase free samples. A lot of beauty retailers are offering free samples but with purchases. And what differentiates Quarry's is that they're offering to send these free samples without any purchase. So the user is not forced to buy something in order to receive free samples. Interactive games and quizzes. We already heard from Stefan how popular gamification is these days. It is engaging the users to feel like they some kind of played. So, for example, on Philosophy website, they implemented a skincare quiz, which is more like a game, and it has 6 simple steps, which after the user completes, he is able to understand which products are the best for his skin type, for his age, and what is going to be the value of buying these. Personalization. Personalization is something that really can deliver a great user experience. Let's see an example from Disney. Disney offers to his clients name ingredient on the products they are selling. So, if you have to buy a present for a kid and he loves Mickey Mouse, it really makes a difference if you just give him a plush Mickey Mouse toy, or if this toy has the kid's name on it. That's something very personal, and the kids would love it. Will is now taking his last step to the user testing point. Well, why is it important to user test? I think we heard very much about this topic today, so I'm not going to repeat the other lectures. I'm just going to show you one of the methods which one of our customers has used in order to see how the users are testing his website. So, here I just wanted to show that sometimes designers may think that they have found the perfect way to design things, like here. But the users have found another one. I'm not saying that it's better, but it's another. It's not the one that the designer thought they definitely should use. Eye tracking user tool. This is a very interesting tool which is following the eyes of a person and is showing us exactly where he's looking while browsing the website. We are going to have a look at, again, the TML side, and here's our user. It's a video, I'm going to play it in a minute. And I just want you to follow where his eyes are looking and what is the order in which he is reviewing the products. Let's see. He's also describing what is he thinking, but it's not something very interesting. So just follow the way he browses the product listing page. What did we saw? So when the designers designed this product listing page, they were pretty sure that the users should start from here, the first image, read the image description, next image description, next image description, next row, and so on. What we actually saw the user was doing is basically something like this. He started from somewhere here, went here, here, here. He wasn't following the way that designer thinks he should have followed. And what is important here is that retailers should make sure that their site is working no matter how the user is browsing the product listing. So, because, as you might guess, this one here is absolutely different for every single person, because they made a lot of tests, and if I play another user video, he will start eventually from here. So, retailers just need to make sure that whatever the user journey is, he is still able to quickly find the product he is looking for and to be happy to have a good user experience. Conclusion. I just want to stress on several steps which I think that retailers should follow in order to deliver a great user experience. And this is, first of all, know your customers and know their needs, because you need to design for your customers and for their needs. Then find a way to understand what the customer's problems are. And make sure you're offering a solution to exactly these problems. Because sometimes retailers think they have found the problem and they offer a solution. But if this is not the problem, and if this is not the solution which users would like to have, this even could be worse than offering no solution at all. And to make it a little bit more clear, I'm going to show you an example from last week. I was with my father, and this is his TV. We were watching the Bulgaria-Malta football game. And at some point, the TV, it's a smart TV, said, if there aren't any actions, I'm going to shut down in a minute. This is very smart TV, I thought. He knows that there are no actions in this game. And it is so bored from this game, that it is going to shut down. Well, do you think my father thought the same? When he saw this notification, he was like, oh, not that again, where is the remote control? So he was very much annoyed from this notification. And he had a very bad user experience with this TV because he found it very hard to find where to turn this notification, this functionality off. He couldn't find it. So here the producers, of course, thought that they're resolving a problem, like, for example, if he falls asleep and the TV is working all night. But he actually didn't have a problem with that. And he had a much bigger problem with this message. Willie just made it to the end. And as we promised him, he now knows some very simple steps on how to improve the user experience design. And by doing so, he can grow his online business from 1 to 2 million revenue. That's why he's so happy. That's it. Thank you.